What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dimming Reads Comics. Today we're going to do a review of Noir Burlesque Hardcover. I don't think there's any trade paperbacks of this, and I don't believe there's any deluxe editions or anything like that. It really is just a small hardcover. This was actually a very interesting book because when I first kind of saw the pictures of it, it reminded me a lot of Sin City in the sense that it was black and white, but they put like little colored things into it, like red. This one is just red. There's like no blues and things like that. But anyway, let's go on with the writer. It's written and so the author and artist are both Enrico Marini. He's an Italian guy, and the reason I know that because this is actually there's a lot of Italian in here, which kind of gets me upset because I hate that I have to pull out my phone and do the translator on this. Not only did I do it with this one, but I had to do it with the last book I read too, with Lady Killer. It was German. This one has a whole bunch of Hungarian and Italian. But there's a whole bunch of other creators here. But the main people, the artist and the writer, was both Enrico Marini, if that's how you say it. Anyway, it is published by Titan Comics, 288 pages. Now, I can't really say if there's issues in here because there's no page breaks, there's no chapters. Maybe one like halfway through it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, right here. Right here was the only kind of page break that I saw. And it was like halfway through. So it's like a part 1 and a part 2. So yeah, it was actually a good read, a good quick read. I read it in about 2 hours. Actually, it took about 3 because I know you're probably like 3 hours for something like this, 288 pages. The thing is, I read and I kind of look at the art a little bit, to see all the details that the artist did. So it takes me a little bit. I kind of read it and I kind of read it again. So what I do is I'll read what they say in like one tile, look at the picture, and then read it again to make sure I got and comprehend everything that we're talking about. Anyway, so let's go ahead and crack this open. I'll tell you about the premise of it. I won't tell you how it ends, but it was really a good book. I do want to say that Stephen King actually said something about this. For those of you that know Stephen King, that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and crack this open and see what and I'll tell you guys about the plot and see what you guys think. Alrighty, guys. So here it is, Noir Burlesque. Is that how you say it? Burlesque? I'm not too sure how you pronounce it. I asked my phone how for it to pronounce it, and it says burlesque. So Noir Burlesque. Here's the end. I like this end page. Most of the time they're just blank, they're different colors, but I like how they incorporated this city. This, what I don't really like about it, it's a short story. It doesn't go too much into detail when it takes place, where it takes place, and things like that. But I gathered little information that it has to do in New York, and it has to do around the time during the war. I want to say World War II, maybe right after World War II. Maybe in the 1930s. I don't know exact dates because it doesn't tell you. And the only reason I don't know, and I kind of put together a little bit, is because they mentioned a certain individual. Lucky Luciano was a big crime mob jet. I don't know. Don. I don't even know what he was, but he was a big crime gangster in New York. So that's how they mentioned him in here. And when I say mention him, like, hey, this is his favorite kind of food. He's here, And so because of that, I know this takes place in New York, and this place takes place back when Lucky Luciano was around and before he got caught. So anyway, so that's when it takes place. Here's the introduction or the opening page. I don't know what they call it. But we start off with this. It's so nice because it's just a small little block. A woman walking, and then it goes to the big 2 page, and she's walking. And then she finally meets up with the guy, and they're kind of having a back and forth like, hey, did you miss me? Things like that. They kind of have like maybe a love-hate relationship, and you don't know what's going to happen. And he's all like, you know what? I can spend some time with you and then kill you, or the other way around. And it just, the interaction was a little bit weird. I was like, what the heck is going on? So they start kissing. He's kind of like grabbing her, and she reaches for a gun, and you hear blam. What just happened? So then it goes, this kind of shows you the introduction of what's gonna happen, and then we get the full-on story. This kind of goes back before that happened. And that's, I guess I like it, but it didn't show anywhere like this is the story, right, of what's happening, and then it goes 6 months earlier, or 3 months earlier, or a few days earlier. It didn't tell you that, because then right here I'm like, who is this guy? Is this the same? Like, I don't know what's going on. So then we get introduced to another guy. There's he's holding up a place, a jewel robbery, and his driver gets away or drives away because the police are coming, and eventually he gets away. It's kind of weird that the chick that he was robbing, he kisses her and gives her like some pearls, and she's like, "Oh, come back whenever you want." Like, what? You just got robbed. You were gonna get killed with a gun, and you let him kiss you? I don't know. Anyway, so then then he leaves, and then he goes to Rex. I think they call it the. Let's see here. Rex nightclub, Caprice. And then it says Burlesque. I don't know if it's like, it's called Rex Nightclub. It's not called Burlesque Nightclub. So I don't know what Burlesque is, but it has to do with that building. So this is a gentleman nightclub. As you can see here, Caprice Burlesque, as you like it. I don't know if that's her name, like Caprice. Her name is Caprice Burlesque. But later, so this is actually Caprice. He goes in, and we finally get to know his name. Because once he starts talking to the bartender, and then he's like, "I need to see your boss." And once he starts talking to the boss, we find out his real name is Terry Cole, and he's doing a favor for the boss of this place, and his name is Rex McKinley, and McKinky or McKinley, and this girl actually, he knows this girl. Her name is Debbie Hollow, but she goes by Caprice Burlesque, I believe. And they were together at one point, but he left for the military, and she didn't wait around for him, so she kind of hooked up with Rex. And so there's kind of like a back and forth between Rex and Terry about her, but also the reason he was doing the bank robbery was because he's trying to pay off a debt to, and everything I just talked about was all this right here. And there's a little bit of nudity, but there's no nudity right here because she has pasties on. This is the introduction, or the meeting between Rex and Terry. And so Terry was working for Rex to pay off a debt because his son or his brother-in-law did something and got killed, and now he's trying to pay off the debt so they don't go after Terry's sister. And so this kind of first part of it kind of sets up what's going on, like Rex owning this nightclub, having a cousin that works for him named Punchy, having a nephew named Sharky, a whole bunch of goons. You get introduced to Butcher, a crazy guy. They could call him Crazy. But all those are not really main characters. The main characters really are Terry, Debbie / Caprice, Rex, and then you get introduced to another guy. He's a Detective Connolly. And so that's pretty much the first part of it, where, you know, he's trying to pay off his debt. Stay away from my girl, and that's it. Well, he pays off his debt, but he still owes a little bit of money, and he has 24 hours to come up with it. And this transaction between them was like, "Hey, stay away from my girl, because she's mine now, not yours." Well, for some reason, I don't know this part why, he leaves the nightclub. And he gets kind of stopped by Punch, one of Rex's goons, and they beat the crap out of him. And I don't know why, but I think it doesn't say if he calls Caprice or if she pretty much followed him, but she gives him a ride. And he kind of stops. They talk a little bit and they kiss, which is kind of nice because they used to be together before he went to the war and came back. What's crazy is when she does that, old Rex sees this. And he wants payback now. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to give him 24 hours to pay off his $5,000 debt. I just want him dead. And he's offering $10,000 for that. So a couple of goons go after him and try to take him out. And unfortunately, they do not succeed because a cat saves his life. Yeah, that cat's it's cool. So then, you know, he gets dressed up afterwards and he leaves that place. And he goes to a diner where he meets up with the guy that owns it, Dickie. And this is where we meet Detective Connolly. What's weird is they're kind of, at first when they're talking, you're like, are they friends? Are they not? Do they hate each other? But sure enough, we find out later on that they actually do like each other. They're just not working together. They're working together in a sense, but they're not like let's put it this way: one's a cop, one's a robber, plain and simple. But right here is when you actually know what they're in the time frame. So before I go into that, Detective Connolly's talking to him about his partner, his old partner being killed, and saying that he pretty much wants Rex, and he will do anything to get Rex. But it's until right here where we discover kind of the time frame of this, where it says Dickie's wife. Dickie's the guy, the guy back here in charge of this. Dickie's wife is the one that makes the cannolis, and I hear that Lucky Luciano. I hear they're Lucky Luciano's favorite. They're absolutely delicious. So now we know that this is during the time of Lucky Luciano. He was based in New York around the 1930s, 40s, something like that. So that's how you got I got the time frame. But so yeah, so you get introduced to Detective Connolly as well. So now we know that Rex's people are after Terry. And what's weird is that he follows Caprice. I'm just going to call her Caprice, but her name is Debbie Hollow. She goes by Caprice now. He follows Caprice, kisses her, and they kind of spend all day together. And nobody sees it, right? And they eventually watch movies, they dance, and they end up making love. And I can't show. I'm just going to flip through quick. There we go. And eventually, she goes back home, and Rex knows something's happened. Like, how can you be out so late, Where were you at? He knows something's up, and he knows that it's actually Terry. They call him Slick. And so, lo and behold, he sends, or what's crazy is Rex asks Caprice, where is he? And sure enough, guys show up. So she pretty much sold out Terry another time. I'm not going to say another time because they did do it one time earlier, but it wasn't that big. So this is actually the very first time she sold out Terry. They go after him. Instead of killing him, they pretty much beat him up and then take him back to Rex again, where he pretty much gives him a chance. Hey, you do a job for me and all your debts are paid. And what job is that? Well, they want Terry to go and steal a painting of another crime lord. His name is Don Zizi. That painting was made by Picasso from the ashes of Don Zizi when his mother passed, and he wants that portrait to have like a hold over Don Zizi, and they make this agreement. And so that's the next part. Like I said, that's where it cuts off right here. So then the next part is that they go after Terry and Rex's crew go after the painting. I'm kind of flip through this. This is where you get introduced about the painting. But they go after the painting. They're scouting it at first, and they know when they're going to hit. This is where you kind of find out that we know that he has a sister. And, because they were talking about the brother-in-law, and the sister has a son named Maddie, and the sister's name is Rose. This is him, him interacting with them, how he loves his son, loves his nephew, loves his sister, but she hates him because of the kind of stuff that he's into. And so that's the kind of interaction that you get right here, which was actually kind of nice, actually. And so now that the job is ready to go for Friday, because he thinks Friday is the best time to do it, that there's not going to be so many people there, he goes and sits at the nightclub and hears a song that Caprice wrote. And honestly, that song was written about him, for him, and Rex knows this. There, Detective Connolly talks to him again and gives him his number to call. We should work together to bring Rex down. And so after that, he's sitting there thinking about calling calling Detective Connolly, and lo and behold, Caprice shows up again. And before they do anything else, Butcher shows up and be like, hey, you know what? Butcher's one of the goons for Rex. He's like, hey, you know what? We're not going to do it Friday. We're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to go get the painting, and that's it. So after that, they make love again. And after they're done making love, they go to work. That next day, they go to work. This was a little bit weird. This guy was weird, Hungarian guy. This is where I started hating that I had to pull my phone out. But eventually, they get the painting. And what we don't know what's going on in the background is not only did Rex want the painting, he wanted Pearl. The Pearls or Pearl? Well, we find out who Pearl is and what Pearl is, and this is the painting that they were talking about, a Picasso painting. We find out what Pearl is and or who she is, and it's actually Don Zizi's daughter, Don Domenico. So they end up kidnapping her as well, and he doesn't, and Terry doesn't like that, but there's nothing he can do. So eventually, what happens once they kidnap her and get the painting? When she kind of resists to get kidnapped, she kind of kicks the painting and it goes into the fire, and it gets burned. So once they take back Pearl and the painting to Rex, they're getting ready to kill Terry. Oh, there's a big old fight. You know, the second hand of Don Zizi. They make it out. It was a nice kind of fight scene, actually. I really enjoyed that. But once they get back, Rex is like, it's burned. They're gonna kill Terry, and Terry's like, hey, you know what? Before you kill me, why don't you let me take it to somebody to fix it, a forger? And he agrees to that. He got 24 hours to do it, but he tells Butcher to go with him. And sure enough, you know, Butcher goes with him. His nephew Sharky gets charged with taking care of Pearl, which wasn't the best bet because that guy, he's always getting hurt. He's a weak dude. He shouldn't be working for his uncle. So yeah, so Terry goes and gets the painting fixed. And once the painting's almost done getting fixed, Butcher kills him, the forger. And Terry's not liking the way things are. He knows that he's gonna die, and he makes a plan to take down Rex and his goons. And he goes about it like, I didn't see some of the things coming. Like, he kind of teamed up with Don Zizi's daughter. The way, it's just, I don't want to give any more away, but the way he takes down the Rex and his goons is pretty cool, actually. I was very impressed. And at the end, this is Sharky watching over Pearl, which, yeah, didn't go so well for him. And this is Terry and Pearl kind of making an agreement. But then this is finally the showdown of Rex going after, Terry going after Rex and his goons. At the same time, we don't know this, but Rex already sent the crazy dude to go kill Terry's sister and nephew. That's as much as I want to say. Like I said, after this, if you guys want to pick this up, you guys should definitely read it. You guys should find out for yourself if the crazy guy does succeed, how Terry goes around, you know, taking down Rex and his goons, and who helps him, who doesn't, and if there's any betrayal at the end, because there was a betrayal at the end, and I was like, what? That I did not see coming whatsoever. And this has to do with the gun thing at the beginning, and it does come full circle at the end. You see that little thing play out from the beginning, where it showed Terry and Caprice and that blam, who shot who, what happened, did anybody die? I don't want to give that spoilers away at the end, because that would be big spoilers, but this was an interesting read. So I'm going to flip through to the back of the book now. Oh, you actually get to see Don Zizi and his daughter. That's pretty cool. That's the back page, the last page of it, which is awesome. Marini with the baseball. The creator bio. You got Terry here with Caprice. And then you got some more art or books that Enrico Marina did. I might check some of these out. I've been really thinking about picking up Ryuku, but I don't know. Actually, I don't think this is actually from Enrico Marina. I think it's just from Hard Case Crime Comics, Time Comics. And so I was thinking about picking up Ryuku, but I don't know. I might not. But anyway, here's the white to colored end page, and then the back of the book. So yeah, I hope I didn't give too much spoilers away. I know I kind of read into it too much, but I don't want to give the ending part away. It was actually a great book. So let's go ahead and do a rating for it and see what you guys think. Alrighty guys, so as far as the rating for Noir Burlesque, what did I really think about this? It was a great short story. It really was. I kind of want to give it a 4, but at the same time, just like Lady Killer, there wasn't enough to pull me in to be like, man, this was a great, amazing book, because we know Don Zizi's kind of a Don. He's a mob gangster guy. We know Rex is a mob gangster guy, whatever, right? But what happened with the, you know, with the brother-in-law, things like that, you know, that backstory would have been kind of great. What's Caprice's little bit of backstory? It kind of says a little bit, because after Terry went to the war, she, you know, she waited for a few months and she hooked up with Rex to help her become a, you know, be on stage, become a movie star. So it kind of does give a little bit of explanation, but it doesn't give no explanation about Terry, who he is, what he was doing before, nothing like that. All we know is he gets thrown into this. Like, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Is he really working for the cops? Is he an undercover? Like, I don't know what he really is, but if he was an undercover, would his sister hate him so much? Or maybe if he is an undercover, he couldn't really tell her, so she wouldn't know, right? But yeah, I don't know. So because of that, it does leave it to your imagination, but I would like the small little details more. So that's why I wanted to give it a 4, but unfortunately, I can't. I have to give it a 3. I would have given it a 3.5, but I don't like doing the 0.5. So I'm going to give it a 3, not a 4. It was a great book. I thoroughly enjoyed the short story. I wanted more. I think that was my biggest problem. I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the crime noir. Big fan of it. There was not enough text for like, not enough storytelling in my opinion. I think I would have liked more. But yeah, the art was fabulous. I enjoyed it so much. It was like they took Sin City and redid it completely. This was almost like a Sin City overhaul and renewed. Like the art was a lot more beautiful and precise and things like that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not comparing it to Sin City to the point where I'm saying this is better than Sin City. No, of course not. Sin City was a masterpiece, but I'm just saying that's kind of what it reminds me of. But I'm definitely going to give this a 3. I want to give it a 4 because it is a great story. It is a great book, but it didn't give me enough to want to. It didn't give me enough to where I can be like, oh, this was amazing. It was too short for my liking. I wanted more, and that's probably, you know, what the writer wanted to do. Maybe there's going to be a Noir Burlesque 2 or a prequel. Who knows? Maybe he's not doing anything at all. You know, whatever. So a 3 for sure. So quick recap on this: Noir Burlesque Hardcover Edition, published by Titan Comics, written and art by Enrico Marini, 288 pages, 288. And I don't know if there's chapters or not, but I'm going to say 2 part story. So, oh, and I didn't say this earlier. I keep forgetting to do this every single time. It does have sewn binding. The sewn binding on these small books, you can't really tell too much, but it does have sewn binding. Actually, give me a second. It actually doesn't have sewn binding. It actually has glued binding. Because on the sewn binding, there's like a little fabric down under here, right? This one doesn't have that sewn bind. This is actually glued binding. I did not know that. Huh, interesting. It has glued binding. Look at that. Check it out. There we go. Glued binding. Cool. My first hardcover with glued binding. Cool. Anyway, guys, that's my review for this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys read this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it or not, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not enough to be like, oh my god, you know, but thoroughly enough for me to keep it and give it another reread for sure. Maybe I missed something in there. Maybe it'll catch my, you know, I'll catch something else when I reread it. If I reread it and it's still a 3, I'm probably getting rid of it. But as of now, I'm definitely keeping it so I can give it a reread. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys read this, if you guys liked it, if you guys haven't read it. Let me also know, or also let me know what other books you guys recommend me read. I have a whole bunch more to go through. I have a humongous list. But if you guys recommend something and I have it, I'll let you guys know. If I don't, but it intrigues me, I'll definitely check it out. And if it's something that I see and I'm just like, nah, I can't get into it, I'll let you guys know. All that being said, guys, if you guys haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. It really helps put my channel, or build my channel up there, not only for me but for other people to see. Shout out to all the subscribers that I have so far. 11, yay! I'm probably gonna have more by the time I put this out, but I'm just happy that I'm getting subscribers and people watching this. So anyway, guys, all that being said, be on the lookout for the next one coming up, Gideon Fall series. There's 2 deluxe to it, so be on the lookout for that. All that being said, guys, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys on the next one.